Hi there, welcome to my hobby bench. My name is Ken, and this is Terminator Tuesday. Alright, now in this episode we're going to be doing issues 33 to 36. So let's get on with episode 36. Here's the parts that we received for episode 36. A few of them are familiar to previous stages, which we've done. And for this build, I am following along with Todd, aka Marvel Phoenix, and his build website, which is my Terminator T800.com. And you can also follow along on his website as well. He offers great tips and tricks to put it together, kind of spots any issues that may happen beforehand. All right, so step one here, we have this tree here with the left shoulder accessory and the accessory cap. So we're gonna remove these from the sprue here, and we're gonna use a little CA glue to put them together. And then we'll figure out whether or not we need to use our Molotow chrome refill pen to touch up any of the chrome on here. And I believe we needed to previously for the connection points here I just removed on the other one in the previous episode. So I'm just going to take a little bit of a sander and just kind of make sure those are sanded down. Just like that. Could probably use a little bit more. Something a little more coarse. More than likely it won't be too visible, but I don't know if it's maybe a little bit of perfectionism in me. There we go. So we'll touch that up with some chrome in a minute. So what we're going to do is take our two pieces here now. We can see we have our two spots there on each side, two indents to go for these two side placement points. So I'm just going to take a little of my CA glue and just put them on those points, just like this. There we go. And there we have it. So this top little bit here that was missing for chrome, we're good. This part here is going to be against the rest of the shoulder piece, so we're not too worried about the missing chrome. So just this right here. And those of you who may recall, I just take a paint pot. Generally, a Tamiya one works rather well. They are fairly smooth. And then I just take a little bit of my Molotow chrome. I shake up the bottle. And then, like a drop, that's all you really need. I'll just put that over to the side. It's a little out of focus. I take these are actually a bottle of eyelash glue applicators. Some companies will sell them as mini brushes for hobbies. If you buy it for the hobby ones, they're super expensive. If you go on Amazon and look for them for eyelash glue applicators, they're dirt cheap. So just a bit of a tip. And there are different sizes. So there we have it. That's our part put together. All right, carrying on here, we have this piece we just created here, the left shoulder accessory. Now we're going to take this part here and we're going to connect it to our left shoulder. So I'm going to take a little bit of my CA glue and I'm going to just apply it here to this piece. just to secure this accessory in place. And when you're applying the accessory, this say being the top, we want this narrow part here to the top. So we just have this slot here, slides on in, and there we have it. Just like that. Let's carry on. Alright, so next we're going to take our left shoulder insert piece, and we're going to take our insert this disc here. As we've seen before, it has tiny little pegs, 4 of them, if you can see those, like that, and they're going to go into these 4 little holes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my CA glue, and I'm just going to put it around here. Just like that. Now we have some good glued surface here. They go in there and then you just fit those into the holes. And it should be seated flush. Just like that. So we'll move on. All right, now we have our final little bits here. We have our shoulder end piece here, and we have our shoulder assembly we've created up to this point. And what we need to do is insert this piece here, in the end piece, into here on the assembly, and we can see we have a piece here which fits in this slot here. So it'll go just like that. And then we can just take our 2 screws that we received in this stage. Now this is metal into metal, so I will be using my 3-in-1 oil. And this looks like possibly a pH 0 screw. Yes, it is. So I'll get some oil. And we'll insert our screws. Just like that. Goes in really nice when you have your 3-in-1 oil on it. There we have it in place. So that's it for issue 33. We don't use this part in this issue. It was just provided to us. And we have the rest of our shoulder assembly completed. So let's move on to issue 34. All right, here we are with issue 34, and we're going to start working on our vertebrae. So we have our vertebrae frame, our vertebrae part. We have 2 types of screws. We have a 6mm and an 8mm, and some nuts as well. So I will get to work on that. All right, now we're going to begin by taking 2 of our nuts and just placing them up here into these receiving areas, just like that. Now, next we're going to need our part from the previous episode here that we didn't use, and that is going to go in place. You can see we have our parts here, which will go onto the back, covering my bolts. So you can see it has to slide down over top of this round area. It can't be pushed in, it has to be dropped in over top, just like that. And there we have that. Now we're going to take 2 of our screws. Now this is the 8mm screws we're using. And I am going to use 3-in-1 oil with them because they will be all metal. I'm going to use a pH 00 this time for the screwdriver. Put it into my oil, making sure I'm covering up where the nuts up go. And there we go. We just insert our 8mm just like that. And I lost one nut already. There we go. That is one good thing about Agora here. You do get spares in case you actually completely lose a part, or sorry, a screw or a fastener, you always get spares. And it's usually a good habit to keep them all somewhere sorted, separated, so if you need them, you have them. So there we have it, just like that. And we'll carry on by taking our next part here, right here, and then we're going to take two of our nuts and put them into their spots, just right here and right here. There we have it. And then next we can hold our nuts in place, and you can see here we have two spots both here and here for these pins right here and here. So we just drop that into place like that. And then we're going to take our 6mm screws that we have remaining, and we're going to use some 3-in-1 oil with them as well. There we have the first one in. Then we insert a screw. And there we have it. So that's everything for issue 34. You can see here we've started our vertebrae assembly. So we're going to move on now to issue 35. All right, here we are at issue 35. So we're going to start our build, and these are the parts we received. So we received our vertebrae frame again, vertebrae part. We do have two caps. They are specific left and right. And if you do look on the inside of the cap, you may be able to see there is an L in there, and there's an R in the other one for left and right. And then we have several nuts and several more 6mm screws. So let's begin our build. All right, so in this issue here, we're not actually using this vertebrae frame. We're using the previous one we had done in the previous step. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our bolts, again like this, and just put them in place. There is a trick to it that Todd does mention. You can take a toothpick, put your bolt on it, like that, and then just stick your bolt in place and pull it out if you're having issues. I find that I'm not really having issues at this time, but you never know. All right, and again, same mirrored piece here. We have two holes here for pins and then two screw holes there. And we will be using our 3-in-1 oil because it is metal on metal. So here I am taking my 6mm screw here, and I'm going to be putting it in my 3-in-1 oil, just like that. Put this in place, flip it over, and I can begin inserting my screws, just like that. There we have it in place. Continuing on here, we're going to take our parts here and we're going to take our caps. Now we have our left and our right, so I'm going to find out which one, make sure this is, yep, this one has the R in it. Again, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but believe me, there is the letter R down in there. And if we look at our vertebrae assembly here, right in here we have an R, and over here we have an L, so we know which one goes where. So we're going to take our caps, and with the R marked cap here, we have the cutout area right there. And we're going to have that on over top of this high point here, just like this. We'll put it in there. Now this is rubber, so we don't really need to glue it in there. I'm sure it's going to be held in place really well, just like that. And we'll do the same with the L. Get it lined up. And just push it in. And just like that, that completes issue 35. Let's move on to issue 36. All right, here we are with issue 36. And in issue 36, we received 2 different vertebrae parts, 2 caps. These are neither left or right, they're just standard caps. We have some nuts, we have some 6mm screws, and some 8mm screws. All right, we're going to carry on here. We have our vertebrae frame here from the previous issue, and we have our vertebrae part from this issue here. You can see that we have 2 spots here for our nuts, right here and here. So we can just drop this in place, just like that. We can take our 2 nuts. Now remember, if you're having issues, you can use that tip that Todd had of just using a toothpick. And if you're not having those issues, all much the better. There we have it, just like that. Now we're going to take our 8mm screws, 2 of them, and we're going to insert them into our nut holes there from the other side. So again, metal to metal. So I will be using my 3-in-1 oil. There's the first one in place. And there's our second one in place, just like that. All right, next we're going to take our vertebrae part here and take one of our caps, and we just need to insert our cap on there like that. All right, next we're going to take 2 of our nuts and put them down here in our frame. You see we have spots for 2 nuts, just like that. And then we're going to take our vertebrae piece. Now you can see here we have 2 pins in the middle and spots for the 2 screws where the nuts are, and you can see that's going to match up there. So we just drop that in there like that, and then we take 2 of our remaining 6mm screws, and I'm just going to put them in a little bit of oil. There's one. And here's the second one. Just like that. All right, that's it for issue 36. It leaves us with this vertebrae assembly, partially done, and 1 cap. All right, here you can see everything we've worked on and assembled this week here. We've completed off this shoulder, left shoulder piece here. We've worked on 2 vertebrae, as far as I can tell so far, completing the 1 up to a point, and this one here is just kind of 1 stage behind, it looks like. And we have a plastic cap here still ready to be used in the future episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. You guys take care. We'll see you next time, and
I'll be back.